on for your questions, but please make sure you do ask questions as well. And these guys have 30 minutes, so you'll want to be asking them a lot of questions. All right. So as you guys go through, you could tell us your name, and you selected a school. You may not have, so it's okay if you didn't, right? Maybe you're like, I'm between these schools, and then what major you're thinking of studying. Okay, we'll start.
So I am Ellie, and I'm still undecided with my school. I've been accepted to two schools so far, which are the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and the University of Chicago, and I'm planning to study political science.
I'm Claire. I haven't decided on school yet either, but I'm waiting to hear back from Vanderbilt, Northwestern, Case Western Reserve University, and University of Michigan. And then I plan to study biology and go pre-med.
My name is Nicole. I'm going to CLC for 2 years and then UIC for another 2 years. I'm planning to do physical therapy.
I'm Clara. I'm going to be attending St. Louis College of Pharmacy and studying pharmacy and with a bachelor's degree in pharmaceutical sciences.
I'm Joseph, and I'm planning on going to the University of Iowa, and I plan on studying actuarial science.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I am undecided for school, but I'm thinking about Marquette and UIC, and I'm planning on studying computer science.
Okay, so a lot of diversity in terms of what you guys want to study. So how did you come to your career area? And if you're swaying between some, that's okay too, but how did you come to your resolution?
Personally, for physical therapy, I've been involved in powerlifting and motion sickness. It's a dance club here at Warren Township, and I've always loved being active, so I thought, why not physical therapy, because I'm always active and helping people, so that's what I like to do.
So I'm going into medicine, and so initially I decided this in 8th grade, I think. And so initially it was just because I liked Grey's Anatomy. And then sophomore year I took a sports medicine class here, and that really solidified my interest, being able to actually study about things that were related to medicine for the first time. And so that solidified it, and then now taking AP Bio has just really driven me more into wanting to study medicine.
I know for me, for a while, I've been really interested in geography and just learning about the different parts of the world and different cultures and everything. And I found with political science, a subset of that is international relations. And with that, you can learn about the different relationships between different countries and everything. And I thought that that was a really good opportunity for me to learn more about the world and learn more about sort of the political systems that govern our societies.
So personally, in middle school, I had a great math teacher who kind of introduced me to the world of engineering. And so right when I got into high school, I went into the Project Lead the Way program. And so that's a 4-year engineering program. And with that, we got to go through mechanical engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, and a lot of project-based learning. And so definitely my sophomore year, I would say, my sophomore, junior year, when I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do, I really established computer science as an interest in mine.
For me, I knew for a while that I wanted to take business classes, but I wasn't sure where I would want to take my talents to. And so I just narrowed down. I just took different classes, I took marketing, I took accounting, and I just started to narrow it down, and then I just ended up to my point where I'm at now.
So similar to Jasmine, I started out in the Project Lead the Way program. Then I realized engineering wasn't for me. So I shifted over to the medical field. Both my parents work in a pharmaceutical company, so they work with a lot of pharmacists. And with that relationship, I realized I wanted to be a pharmacist.
Alright, so my name is Candy, and I've I've been pretty much thinking of CLC as my safe school, and it's like a really good school to keep in mind, but where I want to attend is Concordia. It's in Chicago, and the major that I've been going to CLC Tech as a CNA right now, but what made me want to become like a nurse in general was really like I've had 3 lifeguarding jobs so far, and just like being like trained for like CPR and just like it's kind of like a view of like the medical field, and I really like that, so I just kind of branched out to like nursing, and now like I want to become an RN, so I think I'm gonna go with that. But I think like what I like most about like CLC Tech is that we get to do clinicals, which is pretty much you're allowed to like work in a nursing home, and that's what like opened my eyes up a lot to where like you get to actually like work with people, and like you work with the elderly, and it's just like you need like sympathy, and I really like that about it.
Are you familiar with our Tech Campus program at Lake County over at CLC? Let's just talk briefly about it, because it's technically an elective that students can choose as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Most of the programs there, with the exception of cosmetology, are technically one-year programs, but many of them are tailored. Like construction, for example, has a level 1 and then a level 2 you could take as a senior. So you can only take it as a junior or senior. You could register for it as a sophomore, and then it's offered at the Almond campus. And many of our students, like Candy, just love the program there. It's hands-on. Students are there for 3 periods of the day. They would have classes at Almond as well. So their 3 periods basically are their elective periods. They don't typically have a lot of room for a study hall or foreign language or any other classes like that, but it is a great way to get that career exposure if that's for you while you're still in high school. What tips could you give, whether it's like a life lesson that you had in high school, or like what are some of the either struggles or successes that you had in high school? I hope it's kind of a shiny moment for you, or something you learned a lot from in high school. However you want to answer it.
So for me, freshman year and sophomore year, I would say I was very shy in what I would do. So I would say probably my biggest thing would just be have confidence in yourself and what you're doing, and make new friends, get out there and just join different activities, find what you like to do, be passionate about things, and don't be afraid to go out there and go talk to new people, because that was for sure one thing that I wish I could have done more. So I would encourage all of you to do that for sure.
What are you doing tomorrow, Joe?
And tomorrow, 7 p.m., you all should come out. I'm doing Mr. Warren. It's a fun little joke pageant that we're having here. It's going to be in here, so if you want to see me win Mr. Warren, you should come out. And also donating money, so if you have a few spare change around the house, all the proceeds do go to Bernie's Book Bank. So I encourage you all to show up. You can watch me make a fool of myself and all the other contestants. Thank you.
Alright, so I think that for me, freshman year, I was really quiet, and I didn't have that many friends because I was very like closed-minded about making friends. Like I pretty much was like focused on like getting good grades, but then like I didn't talk to anyone. But once like sophomore year came around, I had like a million friends, and then like I kind of like broke out of my shell, but then I wasn't really involved in school. But then like junior year came around, and then I had like a balance of like school and friends. And pretty much like I narrowed down like the people that I wanted around me, and like what I wanted to be and everything. And what I wanted to do, like if I could go back, is like be more involved in like activities, or like join a sport, because I feel like that would like definitely like make my year like a lot better, like just memorable wise.
Yeah, I kind of add to that because it's probably going to be like the most common phrase you hear out of like everyone's mouth who goes through high school is get involved. I remember my sophomore year, that's when I started doing about 4 clubs. I was in FBLA, book club, in Avanza, and Students of Service, and that just kind of ignited my exploration of, you know, the school activities, of meeting new people, and just as everyone has said, like getting out of your shell. And so I think it's really important that high school is a time for you to explore and to do whatever interests you and to really try and follow your passions, because really these 4 years, you're not going, it's going to go by really quick, and so you want to maximize that time as much as possible.
This is going to be echoing what has already been said, but of course you want to get involved. Warren is a really big school. We have a lot of students at both campuses, and you're not going to be able to meet all of them throughout your 4 years. So engaging in different club activities is a really good way to at least get out of your shell and sort of associate yourself with other people. Because I feel as if because Warren is such a big school, sometimes you just want to find your own group of people and then stay with them for your whole 4 years because it's the most comfortable. But if you really get out and try anything that seems at least the least bit interesting to you, then it's a really good chance to sort of open yourself up as a person and interact with other people and sort of see yourself as more of a collective community with other people instead of just seeing yourself as this one person in this set group of like-minded people.
On the same note, for me, I think the most defining part of high school was kind of finding my place, and with the same thing with activities and getting involved. I think for me, like freshman year, the only thing I really did was soccer because I've played soccer for like all of my life, but it wasn't really my passion or anything. And then sophomore year, I joined the yearbook club, which since then has been, it really became like my thing. I mean, I was known as like the yearbook girl around school and stuff like that. And so being able to find your place of, it doesn't even have to be a club or a sport necessarily, just a place where you feel that like you fit in and you're surrounded by people that, you know, make you want to be yourself, whether that's, I mean, a bio class where you're surrounded by people who like bio the same way you do. And things like that are really important in my opinion. And yeah, so whether that's getting involved through clubs or, I mean, even making friends that share things in common with you, I think that finding your place is the big thing in high school for me at least.
The biggest advice that I could give is don't be afraid to ask for help from like your teachers or your counselors, because I know when I was like freshman, sophomore year, I didn't really ask for help in classes as much, thinking that I could just do it on my own. But junior year gets a lot harder, and so does senior year. So just don't be afraid to ask questions, because most times the other students have the same questions as you. So like, don't be embarrassed if you have like a question.
And then going off with what Jasmine said, you'll always hear get involved. And I remember hearing that during freshman year, and I'm like, oh, get involved, I mean, I guess. So like I tried FBLA, but it didn't really work out for me. And then from there until senior year, the beginning of senior year, I started getting into more clubs like Avanza, and then United Inform, Motion Sickness, powerlifting. And then that was when I really found my group and my friends, and I just really regret not doing it earlier on, just because I heard get involved and I was like, whatever. But I think you guys should really try, and rather take the initiative than not look back and regret it and be like, oh, I should have done that earlier. So.
Is there any questions that you all have based on what they've said so far?
Yeah, I've got a question. Obviously, your parents were involved in a lot of this. Unless maybe you guys are also brilliant that you did everything by yourselves, applying for college and what have you. What advice could you give us parents in terms of how do we help our kids best, instead of just telling them what they have to do all the time and fill out the forms the way they're supposed to? What experiences do you have in terms of your parents being involved?
Okay, so I actually did the whole college process like by myself with like the help of like Miss Eklund, and like I would just encourage, like, even though like some kids actually don't have their parents with them, so like a lot of kids do actually do the college process like by themselves, but I would just like encourage you to just like, I guess, ask like, where do you want to go, and like encourage them to do like college visits, research like a lot. Like if you really want to go there, like research like crazy, because there's a lot of schools that I actually wanted to go to that once I went on like even the campus, like I hated it. So I would just say like make sure that you're like looking at every single like nook and cranny that like you see, and don't just like be like, oh, like they gave me a scholarship, like this looks good enough. Like no, because you're going to be there for either 2 or 4 years, like depending. And you want to at least like, it's kind of like high school, but like 2.0. So you want to get like the full experience, just like you would in high school.
Specifically, like in terms of parenting, so for me, I was similar to her. I did most of the college process by myself with Miss Eklund. But I think for me, the biggest part that like my parents kind of played, the biggest role they played in that was just asking, how can I help, or is there anything, you know, like that I can do? I mean, my parents knew where I was applying from the start. Like I mentioned, oh, I'm interested in this school, or I think I'm going to apply to this one. And so they would just kind of check in and ask, like, do you need any help? How's that application going? Have you done your essay yet? And just kind of seeing how, like, what role your kid wants you to play in that. Because some may be really independent like I was and just want to do it all on their own. And if you have that type of kid, then, you know, just checking in and making sure they don't need any help, or if there's anything like when it comes to FAFSA or things like that, that you can help them out with information and things. Or some might need a little more help and need you to like walk them through it a little, and that's, I would recommend talking to Miss Eklund. She knows everything, or Miss McGann. They know everything and can help you if you don't know things about the college process. But yeah, definitely just talking with your kid and seeing how they want you to help.
So my parents were very involved in my college decision, and not decision, but process. I would say the biggest role that a parent should play is supporting and reviewing all of the applications as well, because especially the essays, try to ask your child, do you want anyone to review it? Do you want me to read over it? Not so much editing, but for your opinions. And when you go on the college visits, I think the parent should give their opinion to their child, because sometimes I missed a point on a college tour and then my mom pointed out and I was like, oh yeah, that's like a big negative, or that's like a really big positive. But giving your opinions, I think, is a good suggestion, so the child can see multiple sides of their decision.
I think, turning off what was just said, and not just with the college process, but just throughout the whole 4 years, the main thing is to really be supportive, because it's during high school, and we're going through puberty, and of course that's a really stressful time, and we don't really know who we are in the world, so then we're making all these decisions, and it's a really scary time. So I think just being there and just being that rock of support that can really help your child just get through everything, and just being someone to talk to, being someone to support their decisions, however weird they might seem at times, I think that'll just like really help them sort of foster who they are as a person, and that can really like help them grow stable throughout their 4 years of school and beyond.
I would say just be supportive for your kid. The whole journey, high school's a journey, you know. Freshman year, we were way different than we were senior year, so just helping them through that process. They're going to make mistakes. You just help them out when they need help. They'll grow and they'll learn, and just be up every step of the way. My parents did that for me. They were there when I failed, helped me pick me back up, and now I'm here today and doing pretty well. So just be there for them, that's all I'd say.
Personally, I filled out my college applications by myself with the help of the school counselors and the college helpers. So I would say, like everyone has said so far, be supportive, because I've had friends whose parents were very, very involved with the college application process, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're always on my back and everything, like why can't I just do this by myself? And I just think like being there and like their presence is enough, and giving opinions and just being supportive with whatever they choose.
Yeah, so for me, I had, my parents were relatively involved, and so I would say like the two biggest things are research and support. So automatically, kind of what Clara was saying, my parents had a different perspective. So my mom, she researched a ton about college visits, about FAFSA, the CSS profile, things that I didn't really hear about until senior year. And so freshman year, we started going on college visits, and she would ask questions, you know, do they have a storage space in the summer for them to put their stuff, or what's the health insurance like, or what's the culture at the campus, things like that. That really helped me out because she would kind of just check in with me and be like, oh, did you fill out this application? Like, the deadline's coming up. I'm like, yeah, Mom. Yeah. And so, again, like, that's where the support comes in. I would say check in frequently because it can be very stressful because this is all going on during school when you have homework, clubs, all types of activities, and so it's really important to have that support there.
Another thing with that, especially with the college process, I think that for parents, being supportive, like she had said, is a really big thing, especially being understanding, because for students, especially ones like me who want to do it all on their own, it gets really stressful, just the whole concept of, you know, you're choosing your entire future just with where you're going to college and then adding in all the essays and all the applications and all of that on top of it. So being really understanding of, like, I mean, I remember nights where I would be in the middle of writing an essay that was due at midnight, and so my parents would like ask me something and I'd snap back at them and, you know, say it in a tone and everything. And so just being understanding that like your student or your child is going through a stressful time right now, and just, again, offering anything you can do to help.
Wait, sorry. One thing also I forgot is it's really important to discuss with your child like about the college process and where they're applying. I think it's good that both of you guys have an understanding of your limits, especially financially, because I know like I applied to a few schools that were kind of outside our boundaries, and so my parents and I kind of didn't have that conversation yet. So that's always good to know before you spend like $100 on an application to a school that probably won't work financially.
And like another thing to add, so like if you're like a parent and you're not actually like sure yourself like how to actually help your kid like with the whole college process, like it's okay, because I like had that situation, and pretty much there's so many resources like at Warren at both campuses that you can email like Ms. Eklund, like you can email your counselor, like your dean, like you can reach out to like anyone at Warren and like they will help you, like, and if they can't help you then they'll direct you to someone that knows or can help you. And I think that's like what was really helpful, because I was so stressed out like asking like my teachers that were like in my schedule, like, do you know how to do this or that? And like I had teachers that were like offering me nursing books from like their husbands, or like they have like some from their kids that they don't need, and like they were just really like caring, and like if you like open up more about your situations, like there's actually a lot more people that will help out than like you wouldn't realize. And then also like I would really look into like scholarships, because there are scholarships for like everything, which I'm kind of sad because I didn't qualify for like the 7-foot scholarship one. But yeah, there's scholarships for pretty much everything. You just gotta look.
Any other questions that you have?
Yes, I'd like to wonder, once you start finding your way, how do you set yourself apart from your friends to start pursuing your own passions without feeling guilty of leaving friends behind?
Okay, so pretty much like I'm really like outgoing, like I have a lot of friends, so, but they're not really like my friends that I would say. So I have like one good friend, and I go to lunch all the time, but my lunch period, because I have 0 period study hall at Oldman, and I have lunch third, so I never go to lunch ever because I'm too busy in the College Career Center, and all of my friends make fun of me for it. Because they're like, what are you doing there like every single day? Like, you obviously are not applying every single day. And I'm like, well, no, like I'm like either checking on the FAFSA or just like making sure that I'm getting like replies back from school. Is like, you just always have to like make sure that like what you're doing, you shouldn't really care what other people think, because they're not going to be with you like in your college like experience most likely, and it's like your name is going to be on a diploma, not theirs. So you just always have to like remind yourself that, oh, like your friend's like, well, you're being lame like for not going, like who cares? Like, it's your future, like you should be in charge of that, not your friends.
I would say make yourself happy, and just be different. Go pursue what you want. Make yourself happy. Being different can also get you into these schools the top schools. Just that little extra. Instead of going to your lunch, you go to the College and Career Center. That little extra can get you just that higher school that you wanted, that bigger thing that you wanted. So just be different and make yourself happy, I would say.
Personally, I feel like everyone's always gonna grow, and we're always growing every day in different aspects. So I feel like if your friends right now don't understand the path that you want to take, then they're not your real friends. Because if they're your genuine friends, they'll be like, oh yeah, I support you. Like, go ahead and eat in the College and Career Center. Like, I'll see you later. And if you do grow out of them, you'll always have college and your career, and you'll always find new people in your classes or from your day-to-day life. So I feel like you don't need to worry about the ones that are gonna just be left behind, because you'll always find new people.
And just tying into that, you really need to focus on yourself and what you really want to do, and just focus on the fact that it's your future, and that the friends that you have for these short 4 years of school shouldn't determine how you're going to be for the rest of your life. So you just need to focus more on who you are as a person and what you want, and just really pursue what you want to do.
Basically what a lot of them have all said, really focusing on what you want to do. I think that with friends, they're not your friend if they don't support what you want to do, whether that's like a college you're looking at, or even just interests, you know, like whether you have a silly interest and want to join, like a random club in the school. If your friend's not supporting that, and that doesn't mean that they have to do that with you as well, but just supporting that you do have that passion and interest, that's what a friend should be. And so I think, like I said earlier, with finding your place, it's good to find somewhere that you feel that you fit in, but you don't always have to fit in. It's okay to have passions and interests and things that not all of your friends share with you. That's what makes you individual and who you are.
Yeah. Oh.
One more, because we have just a few more minutes. But I just wanted to just check in really quick about if any of you guys did summer programs. Okay. So one thing that we didn't quite mention about is going into your summer this year. Some colleges and universities do host summer programs in terms of like where you go to a college campus and it's specific in your area of interest. Or you could start doing college visits this summer and getting that career exposure that way as well. But do any of you guys want us to talk about any experiences you had if you did a summer program?
So I did a 3-night, 4-day pharmacy camp at the University of Findlay in Ohio, and it was when I was still debating between engineering and pharmacy. So doing a summer program in your field of study, or in a field of study that you're interested in, can really help solidify that you want to go into that program, or kind of realize that that's not the type of program you want to go into. And it also gives you a sense of what the college will feel like when you're there for your 4 years. So I highly recommend doing the summer programs at even if it's not a school that you're considering it to attend, but just to get exposure into that field.
I had, what I regret the most is like, I did get like a lot of like offers in schools like reaching out to me for that, but like I never had the chance to go just because I was working so much during the summer. But yeah, like I would recommend like doing that. Like if you are like one of those people that like are thinking about it, like I would recommend doing it because it's like a really smart idea and it just gives you like a better like pretty much like preview of it, and like you get like a better sense of like what you're getting yourself like into and like what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. And also like another good like summer program that I got to do was like College Knowledge too, which really helped. Which Warren, you have to, it's like kind of like a summer class, right? It's like a summer class that you would take like kind of like summer school, but it's like for college. Like it's a really short like program where you would just like get help for like college, and Warren like gives you like scholarship websites, and like they check like your GPA, and like they pretty much just like help you out. And then like you also get to apply to Nebraska, and that's usually like everyone's first school that they're applying to. And they pretty much give you like a demo of like what it's like to be in the College Career Center every day.
So that's something we offer in between junior and senior year. So in the summer, it's the first week of summer school. It's a 2-day college application boot camp. That's what we kind of call it. So Candy did a good job at highlighting it. But yeah, we do get the students apply to a college. We bring in a panel of current college students. So we're out of time, but I do, see, I tell you the best part of the presentation I learned as a kid. So thank you guys so much. And dismiss, but if you have questions for them, they'll certainly hang out. They can come down here off the stage.